take the power, devotional services, Shiva Bhagavan, Supreme Lord, same Supreme Lord in the form of the highest, no disciple, but incarnation of, highest incarnation of his own people. So what's your pinpoint question? Second one, then repeat that for the clarification about
Yes, I would like to know that Krishna Bhaktivinode Thakur, prostě Bhaktivinode Thakur jakoby předpověděl nebo vysvětlil, že Bhaktisiddhanta Maharaj se zjevil jako ze dvou důvodů a ten druhý důvod bylo, že měl jako obnovit varnasrama dharmu, varnasrama dharmu. To Maharáže si to mohl nějak blíže vysvětlit, jak konkrétně to třeba udělal, nebo jak ještě se to může rozvinout varnasrama dharma.
your question is on varnasrama.
Like how Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati managed to spread or establish daivi varnasrama dharma.
Good question, one of the important questions. I don't know how to answer in brief. I can answer in brief, but then there will be a lot of scopes of further questions will be left here and there. First of all, we need to understand the discriminations between Soprashamika, I mean, biological varnasrama, Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, and daivi varnasrama. The varnasrama is based on the practices, based on the conducts, practical activities, or the practices, life practices. Although, in general sense, in general or ordinarily, when we talk about varnasrama, the hierarchies among the human beings, the different four levels among the human beings and society, that are Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. Although they are considered, ordinarily considered by birth, biological births, family heritage, biological family. Yet, that's very general and basic concept, ordinary concept. That's not the real, complete conception of the varnasrama dharma. The very real and complete conception of the varnasrama dharma is actually understood as daivi varnasrama dharma, which is completely based on, grounded on the one's own practices, one's own holy practices, practical life conduct, and not all dependent on biological birth. That's the actual varnasrama dharma. Actual varnasrama dharma as established by Lord Krishna, as he explained in Bhagavad Gita, and as it is explained also in two other holy scriptures. Lord Krishna clearly explains in Bhagavad Gita, as you are all aware of, Chatur Varnam Maya Sistam, and it is Chatur Varnam Maya Sistam Gunam Karma Vibhagaya. I created 4 editions, 4 levels of varnasrama, completely based on guna, qualities, qualifications, and karma, activities, nature of qualities and activities. never laid stress or never mentioned that I created varnasrama based on some biological elements, biological heritage and all. Although in the Vedic scriptures, varnasrama also considered based on some biological relations, biological heritage and all. No doubt about that. But that's the ordinary and common concept. Everything has got ordinary kind of consideration and real, complete way of the consideration, complete definition. Partial definition and complete definition. Main point is that when one is born in the family of a Brahmana, I repeat, when one is born as a Brahmana in the biological family of Brahmana, if, or whatever, not only Brahmana, in the biological family of Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra and all, after being born in those families, if you don't engage in doing the practices, doing the activities as prescribed for them, recommended for them by the Holy Scriptures, by the Supreme Lord. So I repeat, being born in those respective varnasrama family. If one is engaged in doing all the prescribed duties, recommended practices according to the ashrama, then he or she is considered those varnasramas as just genuine, as qualified to represent their levels, ashramas as Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. So, but if they don't engage in their own prescribed duties, recommended duties, but just try to claim I am such and such only based on their biological family heritage, then it's not proper. It's not proper at all. The fact is, when we see during the Vedic time, during the ancient Vedic time period or thereafter, mostly all this varnasrama is coming down or continuing based on the family heritage, biological birth system. Okay, and those who have a biological connections according to, in other words, those who are biologically born as Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra are considered accordingly. It was because of, in those days, in the especially ancient time or thereafter also, those people born in those respective biological families used to follow the practices recommended for them. So therefore, much question didn't arise in those days, because one born in Brahmana family also engages in the practices of Brahmana. I'm talking about during the time of the social structure, social system, which used to be mostly governed by the Muni, Rishi, Yogis, spiritual persons, saintly people, and even the kings, Kshatriyas will also remain under the guidance of Raj Guru, their Gurudeva, a great Muni, a great Rishi or Yogi, devotee of Lord, would be regarded as the spiritual master of powerful kings also in those days. So what happened, because in those days, the Vedic time period or Vedanta time period, most part of the society used to be administered, governed by some saintly people. So they would be very strict about the proper system of the varnasrama, try to make sure that everybody born in respective ashrama, varnasrama, in biological family, Brahmana, Kshatriya, should be engaged in their own respective duties, activities. So therefore no much question arose during that time, because it was more or less normal, very normal for all those people born in respective biological families as Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, to be engaged in their respective recommended duties. So then it became like one. Medical heritage varnasrama and also daivi varnasrama were, if not completely one, but it was very closely connected to each other. Those people are following practices, their respective practices. But then, what happened later on, as the spiritual system of society started deteriorating, and lots of fake stuff and non-spiritual stuff came up, sometimes in the name of spirituality, fake spirituality, or just straight materialistic ways, straight material nonsense and activity. So then it was truly required, needed to discriminate between varnasrama, that of only biological family heritage, and that of real varnasrama, which is that of daivi varnasrama character, daivi varnasrama nature. So during the time of Thakur Srila Bhaktivinode and thereafter Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada, it was really required to reestablish the daivi varnasrama, the true varnasrama, which is daivi varnasrama with full discriminations. So discrimination between just merely the varnasrama, so-called varnasrama, and the so-called varnasrama based on just biological family heritage, and the real varnasrama based on the respective practices recommended by Supreme Lord, and also by his inspiration, Lord's inspiration. It was also explained in other holy scriptures. So therefore, Thakur Bhaktivinode inspired Srila Saraswati Thakur. I repeat now, and coming to answer to your question to the point after doing groundwork. So therefore, Thakur Bhaktivinode felt a great need of establishing the real daivi varnasrama on the top of just simply discarding the biological varnasrama. Because Thakur Bhaktivinode understood this reality. Varnasrama is one of the very foundations of our human society on this material plane, material world. So if there is something great wrong is going on in the very basics, in the very foundation, fundamental structure, the system of the society, human society, then there cannot be higher good achieved by these people. They will all be misguided, misled, misconceived. Those people will be more and more engaged in wrong activities. The very social system, one of the very basic fundamental social systems, which has been created, okay, and very much recommended. Great necessity or to run the human society in a very nice, proper way. So then it will all be disturbed. It's not properly maintained. The real system, proper social system. So as Thakur Bhaktivinode felt that great need, great requirement for setting right the very basic, fundamental social system and the system of the human society through daivi varnasrama. He himself, while he himself explained about, clarified and promoted daivi varnasrama, he also directly inspired the Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada. He is one of his most beloved son, spiritual son. Vimala Prasad Ji, later on who manifested Bhaktisiddhanta, Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada, to reestablish the daivi varnasrama, the need and glory, okay, the truthful requirement and true glory of the daivi varnasrama. And he considered his beloved spiritual son come disciple. You have to understand when I said disciple, six are disciples of Bhaktivinode Thakur. Everybody should understand that Bhaktivinode Thakur was the first Gurudev of His Divine Grace Srila Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada. And inspired by Srila Bhaktivinode Thakur, his first Gurudeva, first fundamental Gurudeva, original Gurudeva, then he approached Srila Guru Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj to accept official initiation Harinama Diksha from him. But the very first and fundamental original Guru of His Divine Grace was and is none other than Srila Sachidananda Bhaktivinode Thakur. The Bhaktivinode Thakur was not only just his biological father, much more than his biological father, spiritual father, divine father. Both got combined in Bhaktivinode Thakur in relation to the Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada. So, Srila Bhaktivinode Thakur thus inspired his beloved son, spiritual son and disciple, Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada. To reestablish and promote the functions of daivi varnasrama in the society, in other words, to propagate and promote the daivi varnasrama system all over human, all over India, all over the world, all through human society, for their real good, in order to bring the whole human society within in some healthy structure and stricture, in some very healthy, good healthy system, and more properly healthy system, which could ultimately take them to the higher good, highest good of life. Daivi varnasrama will be properly re-established. And therefore he did it. So Saraswati Thakur did that extensively. He propagated, he propounded the need, requirement, established the need and requirement for daivi varnasrama in human society quite nicely. Extensively, it was one of his tasks given by Srila Bhaktivinode Thakur. So it is true. So now I answer the first part of your question. And now the second part of the question will be naturally from the people who want to challenge, the authenticity or its true usefulness or any kind of true good can be achieved from daiva varnasrama dharma. Some of those people who strongly believe in just only Shukra, Shanita varnasrama, I mean biological varnasrama, completely based on only biological family heritage, they will be challenging, or come up with challenging mentality or expect doubting mentality. Now if I go to explain about that, it will take another 1 hour. Even some of the scholars or intelligence, people from intelligentsia say, I'm a biological scientist, well, we cannot completely deny the nature of the biological family heritage, genes and through some biological principles of genealogical principles, genes and chromosomes inherited by birth and all. We tell them we accept that, we are not denying it. But that's not everything to define a human life. That's not everything to define a human life as Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. That's just a small part. Biological role plays a small part in the human life. But those Brahmanical genes and chromosomes have to be put into Brahmanical practices. Then should be called Brahmana. One who is having Brahmana body should be called Brahmana. Genes and chromosomes of the Kshatriya inherited through biological way or Vaishya Shudra must be put into practice of that of Kshatriya qualities. Then they can be called as Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. Otherwise, the mere biological connection, not at all enough, very less than enough, much less than enough to claim someone as Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra just only based on some biological heritage. So it is also understood those who are born into Brahmin, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra family also directed by karma, by the previous life, guna karma, vibhava yoga. Karma. So karma also behind that, karma from the past life. Past life also behind, working behind that, which is causing someone to be born as Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, even in the biological way. But then thereafter they are supposed to be practicing the recommended duties according to their varnasrama biological birth as Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, then it's fine. If they don't do, then they are disqualified to be recognized in that way, ashramic way, no matter they are born as, no matter they are biologically having heritage. Okay. So, but the modern scholars sometimes easily understand, oh yes, human beings must be judged based on quality and practices, conduct, and not by just only biological birth. So they agree easily because they don't want to follow discrimination. In an ordinary, normal way, they don't want to make any discrimination. All are equal, all are same. That is another extremity, of course. We also don't accept that. Okay, in the name of being generous, in the name of being very generous and very benevolent and very noble, we are all equals. We are all equals. So we are all same. That's another extreme thing in practice, absurd. None of the two things in this world can be equal. So that term of equality, term of complete equalism, which is found in communistic opinion, communism, actually absurd. It's not practical. Not practical, it's absurd. Because no two things in this world can be actually equal. They all vary by their ways of activities and nature and qualities. What we can have, not actual equalism, but what we can have is the proper combinations, harmonious combinations of many things situated together, okay, in coexistence. So that is possible. And that's what is found in the socialism. Communism, equality propounded by the communism is absurd, impractical. But socialism is more practical. In socialism, the conception of the structure of socialism, what we find, the discrimination, social discrimination or classification created by the policies of exploitation becomes less and less reduced in the structure of socialism. Reduced. So, I mean, especially the economic, socio-economic or ways of living, discriminations between high and low, high class and low class, rich class and very poor class people, okay, powerful class and weak class people, society gets reduced in the socialism. That is very good. That is good for human society. That is beneficial. But all cannot just simply be equal. That's not practical, that's not reality. So we believe in Vedic system of society. Actually, it does believe in the harmonious coexistence, more accommodating existence among the humans, among the people, even including animals, surroundings, ecosystem all in a proportionate, befitting manner. Well, proper adjustment. Why am I explaining about this? Those people who do not want to see the hierarchies, they think all are equal. Why should we discriminate as Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra? Therefore I am explaining this. Those people are not attentive properly in the very first place, or they don't understand this very basic point in the very first place, reality in the first place, that real varnasrama is actually divided. Okay? Divided based on the qualities and practices, not on biological heritage. So as soon as they understand, they should not have that objection. And it is realistically proven. It is just, and this truth is just self-evidently accepted, established in our lives, in the creation, that everyone is recognized according to and based on his qualities and karma. It is nothing new. Even in the mundane world, mundane society, people accept that way. So many divisions, so many levels, so many discriminations. Okay, in the world of office activities, government activities, many social activities, they are not same. People are recognized on a field of socio-economic activities, political activities, okay, in our family activities, everywhere, government activities, everywhere we find some hierarchies, some natural levels, discriminations, which are okay. If properly implemented, if properly utilized, they are okay. If they are misused, then they are harmful. So a lot of things depend on proper applications and misapplications. Proper applications bring good results, but wrong applications always bring bad results. Misuse always bring bad results. I am now talking about the proper applications. So, different levels, different hierarchies, okay, different. So different natural hierarchies or levels are well accepted by the intelligent people. Okay. So, just for example, just take the example of family life. In the family life, there are grandparents, okay, parents, next level, okay, sons, grandsons, granddaughters, all are nicely and happily, affectionately accommodated within the family structure, but they cannot compare their level with each other. They have hierarchies. The sons and daughters, children cannot be their parents. Parents cannot be their grandparents, or the granddaughters, grandchildren cannot be comparing with the levels of their grandparents. Natural hierarchy is not this, and it is healthy. It is just quite healthy as promoted by the nature, natural laws. So it doesn't mean, oh, he is higher, I am lower, okay, oh, why he should be superior to me and I should be inferior, this and that. You have to accept natural ways of the system. Children will have to accept the guidance of their parents without superstition in the mind. Why my parents should be superior to me? I should be inferior. Why they should be my guardian and why I should not be their guardian? Okay, I'm talking about the ideal parents and grandparents and in relation to children. I'm not talking about the torture in grandparents or parents in relation to the children. I heard a lot of such things happen in the West. I'm talking about the ideal ones, healthy ones. So, I can give you many more examples. So there are different levels and hierarchies, and if they are properly implemented, healthy. Improperly misimplemented, very unhealthy. So, and everybody, all intelligent persons should accept this natural healthy system with different levels, okay, as it has been promoted by nature, higher principles, higher social system. It's all right. Very healthy. So son and daughter cannot challenge why I should be born into my mother's womb from this father. I can give them birth. No. It cannot happen. They should accept the reality and stay happy. They cannot try to take the credit of giving birth to their own parents. So accept the reality as it is, very healthy, and stay happy. You are not becoming superior or inferior. You are just becoming what you are. You are just following what you are supposed to follow in a healthy way, to live a happy, healthy life for yourself, also in relation to your family and society. I just gave you one example of the family. I can give you similar examples of other walks of life and levels of society. So there lies the goodness, good effect, most beneficial effect of following the varnasrama dharma. Following the high-class natural ecosystem, high-class natural system of life which can promote more health, bring more health, okay, more good, more benediction in life, while properly followed, excluding all misuses. I'm talking about proper implementations. Clear?
I have a very short question.
Sorry, please.
Já z toho mám dojem, že to je těžko. Se to nedá aplikovat bez toho, aniž by lidi měli nějaký dobrý vlastní. Můžeme mít dobrý systém, který můžeme chtít přijmout, ale když nebudou jako kladený důraz na to, aby byli pravidelní a soucitní a tak dále, tak nám to nepomůže. Já bych viděl, jako, že ta pozornost, aby se to dalo praktikovat, se měla dát na ten základ těch vlastností. A pak taky vidím, že v tibetské době byl nějaký král, který měl tu moc, ale většinou demokracii, každý dělá, co chce.
So Bhakti Nandan is asking that it's good to have this fantastic system, but it depends that people simply have to have a good qualities, because if they don't have a good qualities, even such a good system will be not working. And he said the problem is that in Vedic times, most likely the kings had the power to actually push people to behave really nicely, but these days like my remark is the politicians are the worst behaving ones, so there is no expectation that somebody will actually make people to behave nicely. So then how this system can be applied when people have so many bad qualities?
I understand. What he has just explained is nothing new. Nothing new is expected on this land of exploitation. material plane of existence, more or less. Such problem has been there more or less throughout the ages. Okay, also such problems are existing in the past. It is existing in the present. It will be existing in the future. But differing by intensity, just same problems repeating, going on, but just simply differing by intensity or by the forms, ways of their appearance and ways of implementations. But basically, the same problems have been continuing from past through present up to will be continuing in future. That's why the Holy Scriptures discarded so much about our limitations of material existence of life, okay, which is very much based on certain types of exploitations everywhere, not just more or less, it's also widely based on gross or subtle spirit policies of exploitations in different forms and figures, different intensities, different dimensions. So, that's why our Holy Scriptures point out to us, our Mahajanas, Guru Varga point out to us that it's not our final place to live in. This material world is not the real ideal place for the real gentleman, the ideal human beings to live in. So our final program is to get out of this vicious circle of so-called enjoyment and exploitation, get out of this material existence and enter into the divine world, enter into the plane of divine existence, free from all exploitations and material misery and unhappiness. So that is why it is our final program. And therefore this material world of existence has been so much discarded, not in one or two places, many places in the Holy Scriptures and in the messages, precepts of many holy persons throughout the time, pointing out to us and proving to us this is not the ideal plane for us to live in. Okay, so such is the discrimination difference between material world and divine world, mundane world and divine world. Now, that's expected, nothing new. When you are living in jungle, dense forest, some jungle atmosphere will be expected. You need to remain prepared ahead of time with a bit adventurous spirit. When I say adventurous spirit, I don't mean that somehow you are accepting those misuses and wrong uses, but just to protect yourself, just to survive, just to make sure you protect yourself for your self-defense and to survive. Okay, there are ways of survival also and protect when we are intelligent. Sometimes it gets difficult though, but we have to try to find solutions. Now, back to the point. So, problems are everywhere, especially on this plane of material universe, more or less, or in different forms and figures, different levels, nothing new. And this cannot be completely solved. This is also reality. When the material world, the plane of material existence is so designed it is so made by creation that it will be problematic. It will have, besides some good things, it will also contain some bad things. Besides having, like our biological body, besides enjoying healthy aspects, it will also have some problems aspect of the problems in the form of sickness and disease. So, both are the realities in this material plane of existence, this material world. So, how can we expect a total solution to all problems on a plane of existence in this material world, which is so designed, so created to be filled with problems also besides some good things, good happenings. But God has given us intelligence, He has given us enough intelligence and ways, knowledge to apply it and find solution to the problems as much as possible. That way also there. Problems there and solution to the problems also given. Ways, discoveries of the ways of solution to the problems also given. Both ways. So we have to utilize our intelligence and capability, God-given capabilities, to find solution to the problems, and then at least we cannot totally solve all the problems. At least we can bring down its intensity. We can make the problem less and less by the applications of the solutions. That will be expected ways. But again, we cannot solve the whole problems, all the problems of the material world totally, completely. That's impossible. Impossible, because living inside the problem, living in the plane of problems, how can we expect all will be solved? Cannot. We have to find out the plane which is beyond problems, plane of non-problems and harmony, then there will be no problem. It's a different plane of existence, transcending this problematic plane of existence which is called material world. Okay. So, that's the point of answering to the point of your question. We have to try our best. We cannot give up. We cannot give up. Whatever holy ability, whatever good abilities we have got, the intelligence we have got, and the very applications of clever, intelligent ways to make solution, find out solutions. If there is no, you cannot find out, make the new solutions to the problems. We should do all those. And this way, thus we can make the problems less and less. Accepting the self-defense techniques. Self-defense techniques, sometimes attack becomes the best defense. Okay, I'm talking about the holy attacks for truth and justice, fighting for truth and justice, fighting for nobility, kindness, okay, against the evil. I am talking about the dharma yuddha, okay, not the evil kind of fighting, not evil conflicts, fighting we should engage in, but while it is required, we should also engage in holy war, okay, for protecting the good against the evil. That's what was done by Lord Krishna, Lord Ramachandra, great personalities. Okay, that's not violence, because it is a fighting, it is a war against violence. Okay, being offensive against the offense is not called offense, it is called defense. So attacking the attacks, attacking the evil attacks is called self-defense. It is justified, spiritually justified and qualified, quite healthy. It is required, called self-protection. Protecting good from the evils. That has been promoted, established and promoted by Lord Ramachandra. Okay, Lord Krishna in the Kurukshetra war field, Lord Krishna set the examples of trying to make peace 2 times with the Kauravas when they didn't listen at all, ignored him, he came back and declared holy war, destroy the evil folks. Otherwise they cannot let you all the good. They cannot let the good people live in until and unless you destroy the evil force. So do it. A big example of finding solution also. According to the capability, I am saying. It's not meant for everyone. I am not talking about dharma yuddha is meant for anyone and everyone. Okay, it was meant for the Kshatriyas. Again, touching the varnasrama principle, that was mostly meant for the Kshatriya section, not for the Brahmanical, not for the Vaishya or Shudra. They did not engage in the holy war. They were not pulled into holy war forcibly, just like today. Today government is forcing the general normal citizens of the country must take part in the war, must take part in the battle. It was during the time of Pandavas, Lord Ramachandra, Thakur Yuga. There was no such system. They used to follow the varnasrama system. They only used to recruit the Kshatriyas. It was the mandatory act only for the Kshatriya section to be engaged in battles, protecting Brahmanas, Vaishya and Shudras. See, they would remain protected by the Kshatriyas. So, back to the point. With the applications, the higher applications of our higher intelligence and some superior biological and spiritual capabilities and our good Kshatriya spirit of fighting for truth and justice, for self-defense, healthy self-defense, and by promoting this spirit. Are you hearing me? By promoting this spirit more and more, enlightening the people, more and more enlightening the people with the knowledge, with the awareness, okay, of defending against the evil, okay, fighting and defending against the evil force, and okay, rejecting all the evil ways of the societies, okay, and be more healthy, follow the healthy ways of human life. For example, like vegan people, nice people, vegan people. Okay, so in this way, trying to arouse the higher consciousness, educate the people, educate the social people, more and more aware of, with promoting higher consciousness among them, which is all Brahminical activity you can do. Malati Devidasi, Kakkadarshi Prabhu, and what's your good name? Janaka Rishi Prabhu and all of you, Mataji's, Jalanidis, all, you can all do that, Brahminical activities, bringing up some awareness in the society by preaching, higher preachings, and so that they reject those bad acts and come away. So the bad acts, activities lose support more and more. That lose support, lose grounds, and higher good can can have more footing, more ground to come up. So Brahminical people like you all can engage in teaching the people, educating with higher consciousness and awareness. That's what you can do. In mind you are thinking, I cannot engage in battle. I understand that. It is not meant for Brahminical people. That is Kshatriya job. For whom it is meant for, I was meaning for them only. Kshatriyas, not for the Brahmans, not for the Brahmana people like you or Krishna devotees, I don't mean that, engaging in war, but for the Kshatriya people. Thus, while we are trying our best to find some solution to the problems will always come. But while we continue to find out and recreate, newly create the solutions to the problems, at least we try our best, endeavor our best with full sincerity to find out or create the ways of solution to the problems. Then some good things, good results cannot but come in the society. It will have its effect, higher effects. But if we simply stay very silent and secluded way, without some revolutionary positive efforts to promote the health of the society, if everybody, all of us just become self-centered and very secluded, it's not my job, it's his job or her job. It's not my, his also, his something. It's not my job, his or her. Then it rather increases the problem instead of finding solution to the problems. So Lord has given that intelligence and power and ability within us. We have to wake that up. Wake that spirit power up from our within. Discover it. And we can also do some higher good for the society. All right? Yeah, your question.
I have a very short question. Like Thakur mentioned that what were the purposes of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, and he mentioned those like the chanting the holy, like the spreading the chanting of holy name, and establishing daivi varnasrama dharma. But I think there were more things that Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati have actually done.
I have not actually touched that part.
Okay.
I have only answered to him basically.
Yes.
The next step of the necessity for what Bhaktivinode Thakur asked Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada to establish, properly establish and promote varnasrama, real varnasrama, daivi varnasrama dharma, is finally to please Supreme Lord. It is also stated in Holy Scripture, varnasrama charobata purushena parakuman Vishnu aradhate punsam nannatat haritosaka. Vishnu aradhate punsam nannatat haritosaka. Samsiddhir haritosaka. The real and final aim, all through varnasrama, all just a moment. Anyone else who cannot count on falling forward.
On the peaceful place. It's noisy here. Maybe the
So,
continue the
can we change our program then?
Yeah, sure. Very happily.
Wearing sun. So, after this, it's not a good idea to go out. So we can go in my room upstairs. And we sit in there more peacefully, less noise. Yes? Okay. Also, and we will be flowing in future also. That's the origin of the histories.
Can I say something about this?
Yes. And so there are material histories and spiritual histories. While the material historians, of this material world only lay stress on analyzing the historical events based on only their material happenings, material incidents, and they ignore the spiritual stream, spiritual flow of the history side by side. What happens, material historians remain limited only within material concept, earthly concept of the history, but no truth cannot be properly understood. No truth can be holistically understood unless it is understood materially as well as spiritually. Okay, objectively as well as subjectively. But the material historians miss that point. They are only fully dependent, completely base their experience on these objective activities, objective evidence, material evidences, and then they write their history. They don't understand the spiritual side of the history, subjective side or spiritual side. So that is very much required for an ideal historian, perfect, relatively complete historian, to analyze and research and come to the conclusion, conclude things both ways, combined ways, objective ways and subjective spiritual ways. Then that will be more realistic and more truthful. Okay? Alright. So try to teach that in your society of the historians, that you don't fully depend on only objective evidences, material evidences of the art, and you assume, okay, you conclude everything, listen, conclude everything and write history, but also you must understand and realize the spiritual, subjective sides of the human civilization, and while you understand both in combination, then you become a true historian. Otherwise, you are half-hearted historian, incomplete. Alright?
I believe that Lord Sri Socialism was a great reform.
Yes.
And he was created a great social revolution.
Yes, he was a great reformer. Yes, he was a great reformer, but that's only a partial representation, partial conception of Lord Chaitanya. Just like a multi-billionaire is already a millionaire. Understood? Say multi-billionaire cannot be conceived, oh, he is a millionaire. No. When someone is multi-billionaire, he is already supposed to be a millionaire. Similarly, the part historianship is nice. We respect that. It's nice they respect. Okay, they understand and respect that quality, that characteristic of Lord Chaitanya, that he was a great reformer, social reformer. Appreciable. But that's only a partial picture of the whole contribution, invaluable contribution of Lord Chaitanya. Like you are calling a multi-billionaire, oh, he's a millionaire.
And he was also a Bhakti science.
Not just Bhakti Badi. You have to understand a lot of things. The world of divine love and affection, Bhagavat Prema, is is all encompassing. It's not a part of our human quality. Oh, bhakti is one of the paths. A lot of things. Karmer mukti jnane, jnaner mukti preme. One of the essential instructions of Srimad Bhagavad Gita is that all the pious karmas, or ultimately all the karmas, are liberated in Jivya Jnanam. Karmas done without Jnanam is useless, harmful, because that karmi doesn't even know what is good and what is bad, what is good to do, which karma is good to do and which karma is so bad to be done. So karma must always be guided by higher knowledge, Jnanam, and all karma Jnanam must be guided, sheltered by Bhagavat Prema. Not bhakti, yes, bhakti yoga, prema yoga. So all karmas are liberated into Jnanam, all Jnanam finally liberated into ecstatic love for God. This infinite world is not a part of the world. It's not just only a world of bhakti. It's all encompassing infinite world. When I completely do just cut it off, trying to cut in and ask question. I know you are very enthusiastic, I appreciate that. Okay, then I cannot complete the flow of my answer. I appreciate your enthusiasm. So this is it. So when the people consider, oh, Bhakti Yoga is one of the paths, they don't accept that. They don't understand. They don't understand much about Bhakti Yoga. It is not one of the paths to relate to God. It's the best and highest and all-encompassing, limitless world. Okay, to attain God, attain this fulfillment, where karma and jnana, path of karma, jnana, all included within, like lakhs included in millions, millions included billions. One cannot say, oh, just a billionaire. He's not a millionaire. He's just a billionaire. Cannot say that. Becoming a billionaire means he is already a billion, many million, several million. He is already owner of several millions. Okay. So it is that. So you have to understand in the first place the very all-encompassing, infinite nature, endless nature of the world of Krishna Prema, Bhagavat Prema. এটা সাধারণ কথা নয়। বাঙালি নাকি ওড়িয়া? আমি বাঙালি। বাঙালি। আমরা বাংলায় বলো, so they don't understand. বাংলায় বললে এরা বুঝবে না। সুতরাং কর্মের মুক্তি জ্ঞানে, জ্ঞানের মুক্তি প্রেমে। দিব্য ভগবত প্রেমের আস্বাদন লাভ না হলে কর্ম জ্ঞান সব বৃথা। ভগবত প্রেম মানে আনন্দম, divine love for God means anandam, world of divine ecstasy, blissfulness. That is the highest aim. Okay, that is the highest aim, highest end, the highest fulfillment of life, to achieve divine anandam in relation to the Supreme Lord, in love of God. If that is achieved, all the functions of karma can all fulfill. If that is not achieved, the transcendental ecstatic love of God, that is not achieved, all the activities karma, all the jnana, intelligence and knowledge, all remain futile without any happiness, without any ultimate satisfaction or happiness, which can be derived in the divine love of God. সংখ্যা করে হচ্ছে না তো,
আমি
বড় হয়ে যাচ্ছে।
বিষয়টা হচ্ছে আমি একটা কলেজের অ্যাসিস্ট্যান্ট প্রফেসর, গভর্নমেন্ট এডেড কলেজ। আমাকে তো ইতিহাসটা পড়াতে হয়, পড়াতে গিয়ে আমাকে তো চৈতন্যদেবকে প্রমোট করতে হবে। ওখানে তো আমি স্পিরিচুয়াল ব্যাপারটা যতটা না বলবো, তার চেয়ে বেশি আমাকে সোশ্যাল অ্যান্ড কালচারাল যে ইনফ্লুয়েন্সটা চৈতন্যদেবের দ্বারা হয়েছিল, মহাপ্রভুর দ্বারা হয়েছিল, সেটাই আমার বলা যায়।
ঠিক আছে,
এই জায়গাটায় আমাদেরকে চেঞ্জ করতে হবে।
ঠিক আছে, আপনি শ্রী চৈতন্য চরিতামৃত জ্ঞান চৈতন্য চরিতামৃত পড়ুন।
না না, আমি বলছি আপনি বুঝতে চাইছেন না। বলছি বর্তমান মডার্ন হিস্ট্রি ইন্ডিয়াতে যেভাবে চর্চা হচ্ছে, মানে হিস্ট্রি যেভাবে চর্চা হচ্ছে,
ওটা পুরো মেটেরিয়ালিস্টিক জড়বাদী হিস্ট্রি ওটাকে বলা হয়।
হ্যাঁ, এই জায়গাটা আমাদেরকে ধরতে হবে। ওই জায়গাটা আমরা বলেছি লিবারাল হিস্ট্রি যেভাবে চর্চা হচ্ছে।
প্রশ্নটা কি বলুন?
প্রশ্নটা হচ্ছে এটাই, হিস্ট্রিতে এই যে সোশ্যাল রিফর্মের করা, যারা আমাদের ভারতবর্ষে চলেছে, যারা ভারতীয় তত্ত্ব দৃষ্টিভঙ্গিকে বিভিন্নভাবে নিয়ে গেছে, তাদের জায়গাটাকে সংকুচিত করা হয়েছে। আমরা সেটাকে আনলার্জ
এবার আমি বলি, পয়েন্টসগুলো ধরিয়ে দিই, বলি এটা আপনিও জানবেন, আপনিও জানবেন, যেটা আপনি ওই ফিল্ডে রয়েছে। মেন সেই যুগটাকে বিচার করতে হয়।
হ্যাঁ,
কৃষ্ণ চৈতন্য মহাপ্রভু যে যুগে আবির্ভূত হয়েছিলেন, যে সময়ে, সেই সময়কালকে বিচার করা। সেই সময়কালের নিরিখে তিনি যা করেছেন সেটা বিচার্য। এখনকার নিরিখে নয়, আর তার আগেকার সময়কালের নিরিখে নয়। সেই সময়ের নিরিখে তিনি মুসলিম প্রশাসকদের বিরুদ্ধে, তাদের অন্যায়ের বিরুদ্ধে যেভাবে পাবলিক আন্দোলন সংগঠিত করেছিলেন, কাজী দলন থেকে শুরু করে, বাড়িতে মুভমেন্ট থেকে শুরু করে, এক মাসে জানেন। তারপরে সেই সময়ে যে স্বার্থ ব্রাহ্মণ যারা সমস্ত ভেদাভেদটা খুব প্রকট করেছিল, কিন্তু ভগবানের সঙ্গে সম্বন্ধ সূত্রে, কৃষ্ণ ভক্তির সঙ্গে সম্বন্ধ সূত্রে তিনি সেই ভেদাভেদটা মুছে দিয়েছিলেন। এবং বর্ণাশ্রম ধর্ম যেটা, যে মানুষকে বিচার করতে হবে তার আচরণের দ্বারা, আচরণের দ্বারা, বংশে জন্মগ্রহণ করেছে ব্রাহ্মণ ক্ষত্রিয় বৈশ্য শূদ্রের দ্বারা নয়। এইটা তিনি বিরাট একটা সংস্কারের কাজ করেছেন। দ্বিতীয় গেল। তৃতীয়ত, তিনি সেই যুগে কৃষ্ণ নাম সংকীর্তন, প্রেমময় কৃষ্ণ সংকীর্তনের মাধ্যমে যেভাবে তিনি অর্গানাইজ করেছেন জন আন্দোলনকে, সেই যুগে আর কেউ পারেনি, তার সমকালীন কেউ। ঠিক আছে, সময়কালটা বিচার করতে হবে। তখন মুসলিম প্রশাসককে ঘেরাও, ম্যাক্সিমাম মুসলিম প্রশাসক, সেই সময় যাদের কারো সাহস নেই। মহাপ্রভু কৃষ্ণ চৈতন্য মহাপ্রভু তিনি সাহসী, বিরাট নির্ভীক সাহসী পদক্ষেপ নিয়েছিলেন। তার কেউ ক্ষতি করতে পারেনি। অন্য কেউ সাধারণ লোক হলে ক্ষতি করে তাকে দাবিয়ে দিত। এতে তো নিষ্ঠুরতা কম নয়। মুসলিম সমাজে দেখা যায় প্রচুর নিষ্ঠুর। তাঁকে কেউ দাবাতে পারেনি, কারণ তিনি ছিলেন ভগবানময় ব্যক্তিত্ব। বুঝতে হবে, তাতে স্পিরিচুয়াল ব্যাপারটা ছাড়া হিস্ট্রিটা কমপ্লিট হবে না। আর অর্ডিনারি লিডার ওটা করতে পারে না। তিনি ছিলেন ডিভাইনলি স্পিরিটেড, ভগবানময় ব্যক্তিত্ব, মহাপুরুষ, কমপক্ষে মহাপুরুষ। ঠিক আছে, তিনি মহাপুরুষকে অনেক বড় গডলি পার্সোনালিটি, অ্যাট লিস্ট গডলি পার্সোনালিটি। যারা নাস্তিক ফাস্তিক তাদের দিক থেকে আমি বলছি, আমরা তাকে ভগবত অবতার বলি, বুঝি, ভগবান স্বয়ং। তো যাই হোক, তো তার সেই অবতারীয়, তার ভগবত অবতারের যে শক্তি নিহিত থাকে, সেই শক্তি তার ছিল, যার জন্য একা দেখতেও ছিলেন সুপুরুষ, লম্বা চওড়া দেখতে সুপুরুষ, বিখ্যাত পণ্ডিত সেই যুগে, তার জ্ঞান পাণ্ডিত্য কম না, অগাধ পাণ্ডিত্য, সকলে মান্যতা দিত। সেই জন্য তিনি যখন দাঁড়িয়েছিলেন নির্ভীকভাবে, জন আন্দোলন সংগঠিত হয়েছিল, সেই সময় তিনি যে ভূমিকা নিয়েছিলেন, বিরাট অতুলনীয় ভূমিকা। নবদ্বীপে তারপর সন্ন্যাস গ্রহণ করে পুরী ওড়িশায় যখন এলেন, এখানেও সংস্কারে প্রচুর কাজ করেছেন। ঠিক আছে, ওড়িয়া পান্ডা টান্ডা এরা সমস্ত অন্য ধরনের ছিল। মহাপ্রভু এসে এটাকে আরও উদার করে দিলেন, গৌড়ীয় বৈষ্ণবদের নিয়ে এসে অনেক কিছু। তো মহাপ্রভু যেভাবে সংস্কার করেছেন, নিজে পদব্রজে দক্ষিণ ভারত পরিভ্রমণ করেছেন নির্ভীকভাবে। মুসলিম প্রশাসনের আমলে, বেশিরভাগ যেগুলো সব মুসলিম প্রশাসন, দক্ষিণ ভারতে অত ছিল না, ওড়িশায় অত ছিল না, তথাপি আশপাশে অনেক প্রভাব ছিল। তো তিনি যে নির্ভীকভাবে সত্যকে তুলে ধরে পারমার্থিক সত্যকে তুলে নির্ভীকভাবে যেভাবে অখণ্ড ভারতবর্ষ চষে বেরিয়েছিলেন এবং কোথাও মাথা নত করেন, মানে ইসলামের মুসলিম প্রশাসন ইসলাম ধর্মের এত প্রভাব থাকা সত্ত্বেও তিনি সনাতন ধর্ম, বৈষ্ণব ধর্ম, আলটিমেটলি সনাতন ধর্মকে তিনি একবারে সমর্যাদায় মহিমা মণ্ডিতভাবে তুলে ধরেছিলেন এবং এস্টাবলিশ করেছিলেন সর্বত্র। তো প্রচুর ভক্ত হয়েছিল সেই সময় তাঁর দর্শনে, তাকে দেখে, তাঁর সংস্পর্শে এসে মানুষ ইনস্ট্যান্টলি এত প্রভাবিত হতেন। ভগবানময় ব্যক্তিত্ব তো এত প্রভাবিত হয়েছিলেন যে তারা সঙ্গে সঙ্গে কৃষ্ণ ভক্তকে পরিণত হয়েছে, বিরাটভাবে সনাতন ধর্ম অবলম্বী হয়েছে। এই স্পিরিচুয়াল সাইডগুলোকে যদি না দেখে, চৈতন্য কৃষ্ণ চৈতন্য মহাপ্রভু জীবন সম্বন্ধে হিস্ট্রি সে বলতে পারবে না। ভারতবর্ষে যে ইতিহাস, সেখানে আধ্যাত্মিকতাকে বাদ দিলে হবে না। মেটেরিয়াল হিস্টোরিয়ান যারা, জড়বাদী হিস্টোরিয়ান, তারা যত বুঝতে পারুক বা না পারুক, তাকে স্বীকার করতে হবে স্পিরিচুয়ালিজমকে বাদ দিয়ে, আধ্যাত্মিকতা বাদ দিয়ে ভারতীয় হিস্ট্রিও থাকে।
বায়োলজিক্যাল যে প্রসেস, সেটাকে তো যোগ সাইকোলজিতে নিয়ে যায়,
ঠিক আছে? তাই বলছি, কিন্তু এই জড়দেহর উপর ভিত্তি করে কেউ যদি মনে করে হচ্ছে হিউম্যান অ্যানিমেলস, হবে কি? হবে না,
ডেফিনেটলি।
ঠিক আছে? খুব হিউম্যান অ্যানিমেলস স্তরে তারা থাকবে, তারা উঠতে পারছে না। সুতরাং সেটাই বলছি, চৈতন্য সত্তা দিয়ে বিচারটা করতে হবে। কৃষ্ণ চৈতন্য মহাপ্রভুকে দিব্য চেতনার আঙ্গিকে আলোকে বিচার করতে হবে। উন্নত আধ্যাত্মিকতা আলোকে বিচার করলে তখন বোঝা যাবে তিনি কে, পার্সোনালিটি। সাধারণভাবে ওই বাইরে বাইরে যা দেখা যাচ্ছে কিছু ফল, মেটেরিয়ালি উনি এই রিফর্ম করেছেন, ওই করেছেন, অমুক করে, এইটাতে সবটা তাকে কমপ্লিটলি বিচার করা যাবে না, তাকে বোঝাই যাবে না, এটা একটা আংশিক।
যাই হোক, অ্যাকচুয়ালি আমি ওই ন্যাশনালিজম অ্যাপ্রোচ এবং ইডিওলজিক্যাল,
আপনারা শিক্ষক, আপনাদের উচিত স্পিরিচুয়াল নলেজটা নিয়ে আসুন।
সেটাই বললাম, ইডিওলজিক্যাল ডিসকোর্স এবং ন্যাশনালিজম অ্যাপ্রোচ যেটা যদুনাথ সরকার এবং আসি মজুমদার এবং পরবর্তীকালে মারাঠা ঐতিহাসিক সরকার সাহেব এবং এখনকার যারা ন্যাশনাল হিস্টোরিয়ান আছে, তাদের যে বিশ্বাস, তাদের যে বিলিভ, সেখান থেকে কিন্তু আমরা চর্চাটা করছি।
ভালো, কিন্তু ওদের সঙ্গে আমাদের তফাৎটা হচ্ছে ওরা
তারা স্পিরিচুয়ালিজমকে অ্যাকসেপ্ট করছে।
ওরা জ্বরের উপরে দাঁড়িয়ে, জ্বরের মাটিতে দাঁড়িয়ে ওরা স্পিরিচুয়ালিজম অ্যাকসেপ্ট করছে। আমরা স্পিরিচুয়াল ওয়ার্ল্ডে থেকে ওটাকে অ্যাকসেপ্ট করছি এবং মেটেরিয়াল সাইডটাকেও অ্যাকসেপ্ট করছি।
ওটা আমাদের তো আমাদের যে
আপনারা কি পড়াচ্ছেন স্কুল কলেজে, কি হিস্ট্রি পড়াচ্ছে, এটা আমাদের ধর্তব্য নয়। আমরা সত্যবাদী, সত্যকে অ্যাজ ইট ইজ গ্রহণ করবো, ওরা বুঝুক বা না বুঝুক।
আমাদের তো আরো পাঁচটা,
আর সেইটা বলছে পাঁচটা না, অ্যাডজাস্টমেন্ট আলাদা
লড়াই করতে হচ্ছে। এখানে মার্কসিস্ট অ্যাপ্রোচ আছে, সাবার্টান স্টাডি আছে, কেমব্রিজ গোষ্ঠী আছে।
প্রথম লড়াইটা হবে স্পিরিচুয়ালিজমকে বুঝতে হবে থ্রু স্পিরিট। ম্যাটেরিয়াল অ্যানালিসিস দিয়ে স্পিরিচুয়ালিজম বোঝা যায় না,
সেটা 100
ল্যাবরেটরি সায়েন্স দিয়ে স্পিরিচুয়ালিজম বোঝা যায় না। এটাকে বুঝতে হবে, স্পিরিট দিয়েই বুঝতে হবে। ওকে, আমার সময় নেই এখন, এটা অপেক্ষা করছি। ঠিক আছে, বুঝতে হবে।
আপনাকে একটু প্রণাম করি।
ওখান থেকেই করবো।